Hello and welcome back to the Shmuseum and our Team MSRT Ford Transit Custom. But today's a sad day. As a result of this being here, we're now preparing this for sale, which...
Goodbye E500.
It's a sad day.
It is. I mean,
We've had
it's
a lot
always
of
a sad
these
day.
lately.
Yeah, we had a sad day when we did a van swap, but it was also a happy day because we have another van
another
still.
van.
But Tim has said that now we have the van, which is our practical car. The E500 was pretty much bought for that reason. We could tow with it, so we did lots of trips obviously with the Clio.
Yep.
We could fit anything we needed in the back of it and not have to worry too much.
No.
And now it's time to essentially say goodbye, make sure it's ready for sale. And leading on to that, I believe we had a warning on the dash that said about brake pads or a brake issue.
I don't entirely know, truth be told. All I know is last time I got in this to move it, it said something about brakes and I didn't have time to check on it. So now that it's effectively sold, because Tim gave me a call last night and said someone's made him an offer, we need to do something about it. So I think we're going to move this over onto our quick jacks. You're going to jack it up, and then between us, we'll get the wheels off and just have a look at what's what. Because, I mean, let's come over here. As you may be able to see from the wheel design,
You can't really see too much, yeah.
no, it's not the easiest thing in the world. So I think real world, it's going to be easier just to whip the wheels off, have a look at the state of the pads and discs, work out what is it that's triggered, what do we need, and then we go and buy some parts and
fit them.
I say we fit them.
I'll fit them.
You fit them, and I'll
You can
supervise.
help. Yeah.
I'll be there to kick the brake discs off if they're seized on,
Yeah, like
I
mine
did
were.
on your car. Yeah,
Yeah. So that's the plan.
that is the plan.
Onto the quick jack, and then we carry on. And also, we're going to get the Hoover in here. We're going to get our Makita, and we're going to let it map out. We've got a lot of tidying up to do. We've got a few, this stuff we can move by hand first.
Yeah, we've got some
bits
lumps
of rubbish
of
to throw
wood,
away.
paint trays, and bits of expanding foam and stuff. So yeah, that all needs to be cleaned up, and then yeah, we can let Makita run around and Shmakita run around and do its thing. And just in case any of you have spotted, because I'm not quite sure what that's in, we have something here undercover, which you may or may not find out about some point in the future. It's just a car that belongs to a friend that's been kept with us for a while that he wants off camera for now, but it may appear at some point.
Yeah, but we do have a Clio and a TVR, which you can still see. So
yes.
Life is good.
Although, it's no Clio V6, is it?
No, but we actually need to get this with the Clio V6 for some photos at some point, because it'll be so cool having the original and the flagship.
We can get you insured on this and everyone can stop asking when you're finally going to drive a Shmeemobile.
No.
Anyway, let's crack on with the E500.
In that corner, we have the Hoover ready to go. We've got still this cleaning up to do, but first we're going to get the E500 onto the quick jack, or I'm going to start doing that. You're going to start cleaning a few bits up.
Yeah.
But we need to see if this will start.
Yeah, do we have our CS3? Because this has been sat, honestly, this has been sat for a good few weeks now.
Yeah, I'm not very hopeful, but we can go and get our C6 CS3, and then straight away this will fire up.
Okay, moment of truth. Oh, there's radio, cut. It won't turn off. Right, there we go,
Fixed, no more radio?
Okay, we're good.
Round two.
But we have enough power for radio, clearly, so.
Oh, nice.
It struggled, but
that just shows where we have used the C-Tech CS3, it's given it enough of a boost and enough life that it will now start.
Recondition the battery, that it's all good. Right, let's get this onto the lifts and yeah, let's get cracking on.
Okay, here we go. So coming forward, and let's stop about there. There we go, cool. E500 in place. What have you found?
There's a document in here from when we last hired a trailer from GT Towing, when we were towing the Clio with the E500.
But we have a blue van we can do that with.
Although, we do, and
although the Clio now drives.
I am super happy that we have the van, don't get me wrong, but it's a V8 estate car.
Yeah.
Like that alone is a winner.
Is this where we tease that maybe something similar might be coming, maybe?
You just did.
More on that soon. I have some bad news. Unfortunately, we have quite a long car here, and the jacking points are right towards the edges, obviously, towards either end of the car. The quick jack isn't long enough to fit, so
we got to do this.
Gonna go the old-fashioned
manually.
way. Jack, axle stands, and do it that way. So I'm gonna crack on with that now.
So Brad has managed to get the E500 jacked up.
I don't know what I've just watched.
The Hoover, but at least
we know it can clean underneath there.
Yeah, the Hoover has just decided to map straight underneath the E500. It took the opportunity as soon as it was off the ground to slide underneath it.
It's
However,
a once in a lifetime opportunity, right?
it is doing a very good job at mapping out the building. It hasn't quite got down the side of the toilet block just yet, but I suspect it will have shortly, and then we'll be good to send it on its way and do a clean. And for now, Brad is just getting the wheels off. Have you cracked them already?
Yep, almost
obviously.
There.
So Brad's just getting the wheels off, and then we'll see what the state of play is behind these. We have an update?
We have an update on this. Front wheel is off. Haven't got to the rear yet because we've had a quick look at the pads and they actually don't look too bad. There's still a fair amount of life left in those.
With the rears, the calipers are small enough that we can see the pad material through the gaps in the wheel.
Coming to the front, however, if you have a look in, hopefully you can just about see the pad.
Oh, I'm not sure if we're getting there.
Let me find a phone and get the light on it. Hold on 1 second. There we go.
Come back in there.
We've got a little bit of life left.
Yeah.
It's not terrible.
There's probably a couple thousand miles left in them.
You'd still be able to drive with this normally.
Yeah.
The thing that we don't have much life left on is the front disc. That's quite a big lip.
Yeah,
which hopefully if you get the right angle, you can see it.
I'll be able to. Hopefully, you guys can see.
And they're quite rusty and
they're
dirty.
They've seen better days.
Yeah, that's our favourite phrase for working on some of these cars. They've seen better days.
Yeah.
So I think the plan for now is the rears, I think we're going to leave. Obviously, I need to check the other side and see, because if that's obviously bad as well, we'll do it anyway.
But there is a slight lip on the rear disc, but plenty of life
like
left
this.
in them.
Yeah.
Plenty of life left in the pad. So we think that's okay.
Yeah, so for now, we will check them on the other side. But for now, discs and pads on the front, we're 100% going to replace.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to come back tomorrow. We've got a few things we have to do today. We're running quite tight on time, so we don't really...
I don't think we'll make it to
we're not going to make it out. So
time.
for now, we're going to join you guys in a few seconds. We're going to disappear home, come back the next day, we'll take a car out, and then we'll go and pick up discs and pads for the front and go from there.
Okay, well, we'll see you guys in a few seconds.
Let's go.
A quick update from me and a thanks to the sponsor of today's video, something I've been building in the background that you might have seen, the De Agostini 1-8 Ford GT. Now, as a big fan of model cars and especially being able to assemble them myself, I'm having a lot of fun with this one. Here's where I'm up to so far. Having just installed the interior into the chassis, look at the incredible level of detail with the seat belts on the seats there. We've got the fire extinguisher down in the footwell. The last couple of stages for me were to fit the front assembly and the radiator, but we've got things like the steering, which is functional. Once it's completed, we'll also have working lights, but I've got quite a bit still to go. With the subscription, you receive the next updates every month, along with a magazine with further information. The next for me are going to be the rear wheels and tires. We've got parts of the brakes, and then it's going to be on to the gearbox assembly also, before eventually having a 51 centimetre long, 8 kilogram, 1-8 scale Ford GT. Now, for more information about the subscription, check out the information down below, but needless to say, I'm looking forward to having this completed, and if you're subscribed, you'll also be receiving some free gifts along the way, like some smaller models, posters, and a display case at the end as well. So what are you waiting for? Get involved. I can't wait to complete the rest of the stages myself, and big thanks to De Agostini, because the 1-8 Ford GT is definitely worth having a go at.
It is day number 2. Time to get this properly underway. I've got a few tools. Some punches, got to punch out the pins for the calipers, which obviously then lets the pads come off. And inside, if we have a look at the dash, we do have, when this warning changes back, brake wear, visit workshop. So the brakes definitely need to be replaced. I'm assuming it's these fronts because the rears look okay, as we mentioned. So yeah, time to get these off. Then we can go and pick up some new disc and pads, get them fitted. And then this needs a clean, I guess, and then it's ready to be sold. Okay, so jump ahead a little bit, and every time we try and work on one of Tim's cars, that thing over there, the Silver Clio, was the first nightmare we had. Lots of rusty stuff, lots of bolts, lots of stuff getting stuck. We've had a fairly similar story with this so far. We've managed to get the pads out. Let me quickly put one glove on, just to be able to show that. Here are the pads. They've got a little bit, like we said, but they could do with being replaced. I think the wear sensor here must have now started catching, hence it's pinging up in the car, and I've actually managed to make it show the warning. I can't remember if I showed that earlier, possibly, but it's saying brake pads are low. And then we have a disc, which 100% has seen better days. This thing is pretty butchered. So that's off. We haven't done the passenger side yet. We're gonna come back to that. We're having trouble with these bolts. We need to get some more, what do they call them? Punches. We need to get some more punches because the original one decided to snap. Luckily we got them out, but this one snapped. So we need to pick up some new ones of them, get maybe a hammer with a larger head so we don't hit our thumbs, because Tom and myself have both done that, which is not good. And I guess we should go jump into a car and go and pick up some parts, some tools, and then we can come back and carry on with this, and we're 100% getting this finished. Don't care what anyone thinks, what anyone says, this is being done, so let's go. Weapon of choice for today is our Transit Custom MSRT. This thing has been a pretty good workhorse so far. Jump in, key, and we'll get a quick start up. There's no max exhaust on currently, just normal diesel, but yeah, time to jump in this, head over to pick up some parts. Let's get on the road. We're on the North Circular, heading towards Wembley, because that is the Eurocar parts that have the pads and the discs that we need. So we could have tried other ones, but this one has it, so we're going here. There was an arch. Tom just waved. What are you waving at? Oh, there's a plane. There's a jet, and there's also Wembley Arch in front. That's a double whammy. Jet plane, Wembley Arch. You've probably seen a little bit of that clip, maybe about the jet and Wembley Arch, and then I had a big word fart and forgot how to speak. But we're almost at Eurocar parts. We're gonna get the disc, get the pads, and then head back and start fixing them. Fingers crossed it all goes well. It's a struggle working on old cars. I feel like Tom and myself should probably never agree to do this on one of Tim's older cars ever again. I think I'm just gonna go back to working on just my car. Tim, you can work on your own car, or you can get someone to do it for you, which arguably is you, Tom. And then you go, Brad, can you help? And then we end up in this situation where we get stuck with rusty cars. So yeah, but let's get there, get the stuff, and get back to the Shmuseum. While we're in the area, we've decided we're gonna quickly stop at IKEA for some food. Dude, is that a Supra? Supra at IKEA. Japanese car, Swedish place in the UK. Nice. Fast forward, and we are back ready to work on the E500 once again. We have new parts, and we'll show you them because it's always nice to see some shiny new parts. We have Brembo front discs, which look lovely, and they're huge. Like, you don't quite realise, but they are massive. They're big old discs. We've also got new pads, which are over at the other side. Don't show you them, everyone knows what a brake pad looks like. So I guess for now, we need to crack on with getting the other side off and then start putting things back together. Okay, so it's a bit dark in here, so you probably can't see too well, but we've got a punch. We essentially have to pop this through this hole here and through this hole here at the top and bottom of the caliper, and there's pins that come through the back. This side we've basically got out. This one is being a right pain. We're struggling, but we are slowly getting there. It's just a case of going at it with a hammer, hitting it over and over and over again until the pins eventually pop through. So we're gonna keep trying, and hopefully in a second we'll have that done. Yeah, it's not easy, and I'm making a mess. This is amazing. We've been back out to go and get more tools because we've just been breaking through stuff. Finally, we have 2 pins. We have both the pins out. Fair play to Tom for giving me a massive hand and putting some brute force into it, which now means, hopefully, I say, although they feel quite stuck, I can get these pads out of here. Let's have a, there's one. Yeah, these are, I don't think these brakes have been changed in quite a long time. We were discussing this earlier on. They're pretty nasty, but we have another fairly low pad off, and I've got one more to try and get out. This feels like we've actually made progress. The other pad is out. They're pretty manky. Obviously, we have nice new ones to go in. I've got one screw to remove from here. It's a T something. Let's have a look. Just people like to be technical. A T30, which we can pop in this rusty hole there. And I think we're gonna pop a breaker bar on just for now because the whole car's rusty. So trying to use ratchets and socket sets doesn't really work without doing a bit of this first. I'm a bit lost actually, where am I going? I think the plan is, we're gonna get this out. This is an awful clip, so I apologize for anyone watching, but we will not be let down on this. We're not gonna give up on this car. This car is 100% being fully finished, even if it means we spend a lot longer than it should.
You told them the bad news that Tim gave us today?
No, Tim gave us some bad news and told us that officially this car has been sold. A new owner has sent him the money for it. It is ready to go. So it's basically for us to get this tidied up, brake sorted, cleaned up, and good to go and ready for a new life with a new owner, which is Sad, Tom's gutted. He's got a big sad face behind the camera. You can't see it. But I have good news. We've got another brake disc off. This is, I feel like being more successful than it was with the Clio trying to do the springs, because we've actually got somewhere so far, but I don't want to speak too soon. We're not done yet. Caliper's tied up. Everything's off. We're going home because it is now getting late, and we'll be back tomorrow. 3 days to do disc and pads. It's not great from us, but we're going to go home. We'll come back tomorrow and we will start with fitting the new ones.
Day 3.
Day 3.
Day 3.
But you know what? It's not really day 3 because we haven't spent a full day.
No, this is true.
I'd say this is like day 1.5.
It makes us sound really terrible, but day 1, I think we probably started at about 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah, which was just a quick, let's just see if we can get wheels off and get it prepared.
That was inspect it. What do we need so we can go and buy the parts the next day? Day 2.
Which again, probably started about midday, 1 o'clock-ish.
And then I actually, if I'm honest, didn't come in to help you until about 2, half 2, because I had some calls and some meetings to be dealing with. So
that was remove
technically
discs and pads.
If we'd have started this at 8 AM on a normal day, as most mechanics would have done, it's probably 1 in the afternoon by now.
Yeah, and we'd probably be done and going home, and this would be working.
Yeah.
But it's not. This is day 3. We just need to point out before you see it, there's a new addition to, not Tim's collection,
but to Humble Barn.
Humble Barn. This is one of my family members' Honda Civic that I'm selling. So it's here. Just had an MOT at Godleman's, as all of our cars do, and just needs to clean up and then it's ready to go. So a lot of silver cars being sold, apart from Tim's Clio.
Yeah, no, that one,
that can stay.
For some weird reason, is staying. I have said he should probably sell it, but he's
Tim,
really attached to the idea of keeping it.
Tim, if you're watching, do you want to buy my grandparents' Civic?
Do you want to buy that one instead? It actually works. I mean, keeping this,
it actually works.
I just don't know what you're doing to me.
Okay, shall we should get cracking, I think, because we've now got disc and pads off. We just need to give the hubs a little clean up.
Yeah.
And then we can start putting things back on.
Some wire brushy stuff, some bolty stuff. And do you know what as well? I don't really think we emphasised yesterday just how much of an upgrade these brakes are going to be, because when we looked up the parts, there was 2 sizes available, and we kind of immediately assumed the smaller disc.
Yeah, it's just normal. Not
this isn't, it's not an E55, it's not an E63.
It's however, an E500, but that also gets the AMG Sport package, I think they call it, something like that.
So we get the bigger discs.
Bigger discs, bigger calipers.
The only ones we could get, we couldn't actually get the standard ones, we could only get the drilled Brembos, which were, well, what an upgrade. Which I'm quite disappointed now, but congratulations to the new owner, you've got amazing brakes going on the car.
Hopefully.
Yes.
Yeah, no, not bad. So I think let's get this cleaned up, start popping some discs on, get some pads in, and then we can get this out later for a little run, our final drive, to bed them in a little bit and make sure it's all good, ready for its new owner.
Yeah, sounds like a plan. Let's crack on. Okay, well, it's now time, moment of truth. We've got all of the pins cleaned up, all of the clips, all of the hub, everything's been cleaned up. It's now time for the disc to go on.
Finally. This feels like it's been a long time coming.
Yes.
But we are basically there now.
But how good do they look?
There's something about groove, drilled, anything like this. They just look cool. They look sporty and aggressive.
I mean, they are the proper AMG disc as well, so, which is absolutely crazy because like we said earlier, I just wouldn't have thought this would have the AMG Sport Pack with the bigger brakes. But nice to know that it does.
Yeah, these are 330mm?
330mm, yeah, whereas the stock are 312. Oh, it's so sad that this is going and we're not going to be able to continue enjoying it.
I
know we've got the van. I know we've got the van parked over there, which is absolutely phenomenal. But as amazing as it is, it doesn't have a V8.
Look at that.
Look at that.
Perfect.
Indeed. Okay, so what's next, Brad?
Caliper bolted back onto the bracket.
Yep.
Pads in, wear sensor back on. Then the other side, I think.
Okay, sweet. Well, we'll join you guys in a sec. So we have a progress update, and as you can see, the progress is we've gone backwards. Now, the problem we're having with the pistons in the caliper, 2 of them are more than happy to be pushed back in, 2 of them not so much.
Yeah. We're figuring this out. We're working out if there's maybe some software we need to like turn off on the car.
Yeah, it seems that because of the electronic brake hold on this car, which is when you come to a stop at, say, a set of traffic lights, it will hold the brakes on automatically for you. It seems that system may always be active, therefore holding the pistons out, and you have to deactivate that via our OBD workshop tool.
Yeah, so that's the plan now. Plug that in, see if we can deactivate the right stuff.
Yeah.
And then carry on.
Okay, let's get to that one. And obviously the reason the old disc is on is so we can try and push the pistons back in without damaging the new one, just in case anyone is wondering. So yeah, let's get to that.
We have some good news.
We do.
Finally.
We have progress.
So we figured out that we basically need to disconnect both batteries, which everything I've been watching online hadn't said until now, which is annoying, but we called up Steve at Avant-Garde, who basically said, disconnect this, take both of those off, and life is good. So the pistons now have been pushed back in. We'll do the same on the other side shortly, which means caliper can come off, new disc back on, caliper back on, and then new pads in.
And then we're done for this side.
Times one, yeah. 1 out of 2 done. Then we go to the other side, do the same thing, reconnect everything.
The good news is now we've done it all on this side and it's taken us 3 days. The other side will take like 2 minutes.
Be, 2.5, something like that.
Yeah.
No, we should be fine now. We just got to get cracking on, I guess. So we'll insert a few clips of things coming off and going back on, and then we'll join you for the other side shortly. Guess what?
I know what.
We're stuck again. But we know why we're stuck.
It's not our fault.
No, it's not actually. We picked up these wear sensors because this car has wear sensors that go into the pad, and that's what then brings up the warning on the dash. And looking at the old ones compared to what a new one should look like, 100% needed replacing. Like, off of that, 110%. However, we went to a store and ordered up some of these. We let them get the right one for us with the reg, etc. Turns out, they're not the right one. They don't fit, but I've just found that there is a set that look to be exactly the same as the originals, which essentially just have a slightly more rounder oval shape to the top of the wear sensor. So we've got to go back out. I think probably back in the Transit, it's ready to go. Go back to...
Cooper's outside. I've been using it, we'll just take that.
All that, yeah, we'll just jump in that, go and pick up 2 new wear sensors, come back, and then we can fit them. But all we know is the pads will fit and life is good. Actually, do you know what?
We're definitely nearly there. We're definitely nearly there, honestly.
Come down here before we start. Look, this is how nearly there we are. We can't put a band because I haven't put the copper grease in yet. We'll come back and do it in a minute. I was going to put one in just to show that we are almost there.
Let's just go to the shop and get some stuff. And maybe some lunch while we're out.
Yes, we'll be back.
So we are back and we have what appears to be the great wear sensors this time.
It fits, it works.
It fits, so that's the main thing.
Yeah, which is great news. Now that means we can pop some copper grease on sides of these, on the back.
Yep.
Pop them in and then go to the other side. So this is good.
Progress, we're almost there. We're almost there, so.
Almost. I don't want to speak too soon, obviously, because that's the worst thing that we could do.
No, so I guess we'll join you guys in a second when we're either over the other side.
No, we'll show we put them in.
Oh, okay, I'll say, or failed to get these in.
Here we go. Pad number 1, hopefully, going in with no problem at all.
Look at that.
Fast forward only a little bit. We have pads in, the back, the clips back on, pins through, new wear sensor connected up, and our new, pretty sporty looking disc on the front on.
We're done?
Halfway done.
This side is done.
This side is now done.
Just need to put the wheel back on.
Yeah, which I think we'll do once we've tidied up a few bits and got the other side finished. But this is looking really good. We've actually got there.
It looks much better than it did. Why Mercedes never put discs like this on, I don't know, but they look so much better.
Right, let's go and attempt the other side, see how difficult that is.
Let's go and do the other side.
Let's go do the other side. Over on this side, we have the caliper hanging again, the pistons have been pushed back, the old disc is off, the old pads are out, and exactly the same story. Gave this a quick clean up, and now it's time to open up another disc, which means a quick unboxing. If I can cut it right, there we go. One slice in here, there we go. Another nice brand new shiny disc, and obviously the new screw just to hold it onto the hub. So let's not lose that. I guess we can just go straight into this. I will give the back of it a quick clean, just with some brake cleaner and the cloth that we have, and then it's good to go on. And we're almost there, Tom.
We are indeed. It's quite exciting. Can almost go for what is upsettingly going to be our final drive in the E500.
No, it is, because like we said, the car has sold.
Yeah.
So as soon as it's done,
And given that it's sold, obviously we need to drive it now for test drive purposes to ensure that, you know, we're about to hand it over to someone and it still stops.
yeah, exactly.
But beyond that, the car is sold and it's no longer going to be driven as a result.
Yep, so yeah, so one final drive, check everything's all working happy, and then once we've had our drive, we'll get it cleaned up over one of the next few days, and then it'll be ready to disappear. There we go.
We're done.
Almost.
Plug it in, wheels on, get it down.
I've got to plug this in.
Yeah, plug that in, get it down and we're done.
Literally, that has been, I mean, we've done it. It's taken longer than it should have, we've admitted that, fair enough. But the video, which I think a lot of people have forgotten about, we actually did the brakes on my car, and that did not take us 3 days to do.
No, it took us, I mean, the longest
Couple of
part of
hours.
that was setting up the quick jack.
Yeah, the longest part of that was that, but a couple of hours once it was in the air to do it.
This has been 3 half days with parts going wrong and things. So
And then having to go out and get parts, and then getting the wrong parts, having to go back
It's not
out.
been 3 full days, we should point out.
But,
Oh, and you need to, I've just spotted, you need to cut the zip ties off. Holding the caliper up.
do you know what, I'm doing that now, otherwise I might, I know they're bright blue, but I don't want to forget, and then the new owner just one day looks under there and goes, why is there a
What?
bunch of blue cable ties?
So yeah, let's get the wheels on, get this back on the ground, and let's go out for a drive.
A couple of minutes later,
We are done.
finally.
This
have.
has been a nightmare.
Yeah, this has been, but we finished it. The main thing is we said we're going to finish it, and we have. We now have the wheels. They're incredibly dirty. They've been sitting here with dust and everything settling on them.
Look.
We have disc, pads, sensors in. We've turned the ignition on, checked. No errors, no brake pads low, which now means we can drop it, torque the wheels up, and then go for our drive. So we're going to go do this side first.
Okay.
Just to make you come all the way around.
Okay, yeah, as you...
The moment of truth.
Back on the ground.
Back on the ground, and then we'll come all the way
back round
around.
to this side. Sorry for this poor filming, guys.
The moment of truth. This is where we can say we have officially changed the brakes on the E500.
Done. Right, now let's get the wheels torqued up. Let's get this out for the final drive.
Let's go.
Alrighty, here it is, the final moment. This shouldn't be as exciting as it is.
No, it shouldn't be, but it is because we know we've spent, like we said, way too long on this.
Wrong
But
parts,
we are now
things
there.
being seized, not working. It's been a bit of a nightmare, it always is, but we got there.
And that's the main thing. It's finished, it's ready for its final drive. Where have I put the, there we go.
Is this the first time that we've attempted something on one of Tim's cars and been successful?
Well, we've done it ourselves, yes.
Yeah.
Like having the wheels, surprising Tim with the wheels on the C, obviously Whoops did that, that
Yep.
went well, but that was them doing it, not
All we had
us.
to do was take them on and off, yeah.
Yeah, which, easy. Anytime we tried to work on one of Tim's cars, yes, it's not been very successful until right now.
There we go, that
Till
satisfying
right
click.
now. So I'm gonna quickly run down and do the other side. We've just started it up, get it warm, ready to go out. And then we get to go and do, like we said, our final drive. So we will jump in the car and head on out in just a moment. Out on the road for the final time in the E500.
It's quite sad really, isn't it? The pair of us have just been sat here just talking about how quiet, how comfortable, how serene it is
Like,
being in this car.
all windows shut, the sunroof shut, and you just sit here in silence and just cruise. Like, it is so, so nice. It's a lovely place to be. For some reason, Classic was on, but now isn't on. I think we must have pressed the button by accident.
Something along those lines.
But it was.
It's, yeah.
And we've got a lovely sunset just out the back, if I can reach
it's very
through.
Rolls-Royce-esque, isn't it? But then the thing is, like I said, it's still, you know, if you do start to roll your foot into it a little bit, there's plenty of power there, it goes. Okay, you can't hear it, and that was something I always did want to look at.
Yeah.
Tim's now taken that away from us.
But more importantly, when you press that, the other pedal,
Yeah.
the one that we've been
Well, I mean, if you have a look
playing
over
with.
here, if I press that pedal, look, the numbers go down.
And we start
we're not just gonna
stopping.
slam on the brakes
No.
because they have just been fitted. So we're not doing any hard stops. We're just doing bedding in miles as you would. It's only going to do a few and then, well, hand it over to the new owner. I don't know if they'd hear that on the camera, but it does sound lovely. Just
Yeah.
very muted.
Yeah, I've just cracked the window a little bit, hopefully, so you can hear something. And look at this, sunset for the final drive in the E500.
Oh,
That is
quite fitting, really, isn't it?
lovely. Yeah, lovely way to, I guess, send off this car.
Yeah, good send off. It's been good to us. It's been absolutely fantastic. I mean, I know Tim was quite nervous when I made the suggestion that buying a few £1,000, nearly 20-year-old E-Class with 150,000 miles nearly was only ever going to go one way. But apart from the hassle we've had with the brakes, it's been nothing but reliable. And well, I hope it treats the new owner just as well as it has done us, because it's been a good old boat, this one.
Yeah, it's done really well. So for now, we're going to head back to the barn. This will get a clean up by us in a couple of days' time once the weather's a little bit better, because we've had a mixture of rain and some cloud today.
And I think to prevent any further issues for the new owner, because we've had the battery not quite happy a couple of times, I think we'll pop our C-Tech Pro 25S on recondition mode when we get back, just to make sure that the battery is in as good a health as it can be as well. So again, ready for sale. Sad times, but there we go.
Time to get it plugged into our C-Tech Pro 25S. And now this unit, just down here on the floor, is an absolute beast. It's a unit.
The clamps aren't the easiest thing in the world on this, but we've got that
quite
one there.
Big and
yeah,
strong.
this has saved us on a few occasions, if we're being completely honest, off camera a lot with the older stuff.
The Clio's definitely been on this.
That's it.
The 1.2.
Yes, if we pop this in, I believe I should have it on recondition mode, which I do.
Yep, that's pretty much what it gets used for, just a recondition where it's needed.
So if we pop this one down, I think we'll leave the boot open for now, because I don't think that will close right now, and I'll just sort that out tomorrow morning.
And there we go. Back around the front, I think, for
parked and charged for what is the last time.
Yes, it is on the charger. I couldn't hear you over there.
Sorry.
And we get to come and look at the car, I guess, for pretty much the final time. It will be here for a few more of the videos. Yep. It's not being picked up right now. We've still got to obviously give it a clean, because along with fitting some lovely new discs and pads, we have made the wheels are horrible. They need a proper clean up. So does the whole car, inside out. So
we'll give it a good clean, ready for that'll be the last bit of preparation, really. And yeah, sad times. I think it's safe to say that after the last couple of days of frustration and things being seized, wrong parts, both of us were quite happy to see the back of it. But just having gone out for a drive is... What else can you get for not very much money that's this comfortable, that's this fast, that's this practical, that looks this good? Subjective, I know, but I like the looks of it.
Yeah, it's old school cool. Like when you're in the driver's seat or the passenger seat, having the star on the bonnet and you see that as you drive, it's so cool.
Which you don't get anymore, obviously, because of various regulations and rules, but
yeah, it's a very, very good car. And something I just realised, this is the first time that this car, the E500, has been reunited with the Clio since it's been running. Obviously, the last time that they were together, we had a shell, and it was taken back down to, it was taken to Topaz, wasn't it? That was when we last dropped it off, was to Topaz as a shell, no engine, no brakes. And
oh, you're right. Hello, meet your cousin. Yeah, it's wow. Yeah, and it's the first time that the completed Clio has been on the Shmuseum channel. There was a video on the Shmee 150 channel.
True.
But it hasn't actually yet since featured. But look, we'll come back to that, because we are going to be doing plenty more content with the Clio V6 coming tuned. So do stay tuned for that, because I just said stay tuned twice there.
Yeah, that was confusing.
Yeah, but do stay tuned for that third time. Take a shot, because that will be cool.
Yeah,
we
have some cool videos in the works.
Yes, we really do. Yeah, I'm not saying it again. But back to the E500. It is a sad day, and I think we're going to miss it. I mean, it's crazy. We've had this not very long, really, but we've done so much with it already.
Yeah, and that's the thing. When you have a car, even if it's only for a short period of time, the memories and the things you do with it are what sticks. And hopefully the new owner loves it as much as we have.
I hope so, and hopefully it treats him as well, because as I was saying on the drive, for a car of this age, this mileage, this whatever, you would expect something to have gone wrong, but it hasn't. It's been absolutely bang on. Starts on the button every time.
Yeah. And you know what the best thing is about this?
Even if the battery's a little bit, but it still fires.
True. But the best thing about this the last few days, we have finally completed some work on one of Tim's cars.
We have.
And we can call it quits.
So there you go, for all of you guys in the comments. We're not completely useless. We've done it, it drives, it stops, you've seen that. It still has been a pain with the various electronic things interfering, that obviously we had to speak to Steve at Vanguard about. Various wrong parts, things being seized, multiple hammers. I think we've broken 2 or 3 center punches.
Yeah.
Like, it's not been the ideal
But
experience.
regardless,
But we got there.
We are now done, and
got
I
there.
think we should go and enjoy our weekends and clean ourselves up, because I've got some clothes on that are covered in WD-40 and dirt and brake stuff and everything.
Yeah, these are not the best in the world. So yeah, let's do that. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed coming along on this journey. Do stay tuned for more Clio content, and until next time.